Hi guys, welcome to Soul's Journey. Was surprised when I checked my channel this morning how long it's been since I've done a video. So I'm just going to kind of talk about some of the decks that I have and why I have them and why I've collected so many. And this can lead to a little bit of a freak out when you lose one that's out of print, which I thought I had done recently with my Hues deck. This, I believe, is the actual first printing. I was reading that the orange box signifies the first run, and this did not come as a kit. It did not include the book, so I just have the deck, but I'm very glad to have it, and it's a very interesting deck. It definitely follows the Rider-Waite structure, but there are some significant differences on a lot of the cards. Susan Hues did not include a lot of the esoteric symbolism that is present in Waite's deck. We have very different Hierophant here. The Lovers. And that's kind of that's something else I want to talk about eventually too, but not today. The Hermit is just off by himself in the dark. There's no lantern. He's not standing on the cliff. The Wheel of Fortune is very different, with the different glyphs in the four corners. If it can show that, I think. I like the Hanged Man with the faces in the tree. Death. This card has always intrigued me because the pelvic bones actually do, in humans, do look like a butterfly shape. Star. I love this moon card. This is my absolute all-time favorite moon cards. Just love it. Sun's very different. The World. Now, one thing I noticed as I was going through this deck, though, is there is no diversity in it. This was from 1995, before that really became a big issue in the tarot community, or before anybody was really talking about it much. I shouldn't say it wasn't an issue. There definitely were decks out there that did include diversity. The Ancestral Path Tarot, which I think came out right around the same time as the Hues. Let's see. This is the reprint. But originally, yeah, it was published in 1995. But it showcases Japanese culture, Native American, some actually really nice cards. Even the star shows an Aboriginal woman. And then the staffs are, I believe, part of Egyptian. Hierophant. Yeah. So this is a very inclusive deck. Anyway, the cups are based kind of on the story of Arthur and the Knights of the Round Table and the Holy Grail. So back to the Hues deck, like swords, some of them really diverge from Waite or Pixie's illustrations. Six of Swords is just one guy in a boat rowing himself. The Ten of Pentacles. The Pentacles are not arranged in a Tree of Life pattern as they are on the Waite deck. And get one of those. Okay, so like, you can see. So I've often asked myself why I collect so many decks when one is really all anybody needs, but I've noticed that when I pull out a deck that I haven't used for a long time or get a brand new deck and start flipping through it and it doesn't match really anything in any of the decks that I already have, a lot of times I get a very immediate hit, and it's like, it's one of those things you think, oh, this is, you know, this is the deck for me, and I really connect with this deck. But I think it has more to do with being presented with something unexpected. And I think it's what Vincent Patici talks about with the conceptual blending. It's like all of a sudden, out of left field, it jars your brain and you suddenly see something you hadn't before. And I think that's why I like collecting so many unusual decks, like the Spacious Tarot. That has no people in it and has some very unusual illustrations. The Strength card, for instance. I mean, this is just, it kind of completely jettisoned the whole Waite Smith system and all the symbology and the esotericism in it. The Emperor. So sometimes I think that's just what I need, is just something to kind of shake me up out of my complacency and to see something, really see it. You know, it kind of like snaps you out of your, like a daze or something. You get so used to seeing the same thing all the time. It's like I pulled some cards the other day from the Prairie Tarot. And it was just, you know, clear as day to me. I posted it on my Instagram. But just these three cards came up. And it was like, instantly, it was like somebody was talking to me. It's like, don't take the easy way out. If you want real change, you're going to have to make the hard decisions. And yeah, this is not one that I've been working a whole lot with lately, but it definitely spoke to me. And since I posted that, I just did want to note that the creator of the deck, Robin Ator, actually responded to my post and just said, so true. And I didn't even realize he was on Instagram until he did that, so I followed him back. And he actually has a book out now to go with this deck. So if you have this deck and have been wanting the book for it, I think it's on Amazon for like $6 or something. So that's out there for you. But yeah, I think just sometimes shaking things up with a different deck can go a long way. Like another one that's very not traditional is the Tarot of the Spirit. Like Ten of Wands, the Wheel of Fortune. And sometimes that's what you need to kind of get the old synapses firing. One of Water, Open Channel. I mean, in a way, these feel more like oracle decks than actual tarot decks, but you know, whatever works. If it works for you, go for it. But I have long since given up on the idea of there being one perfect deck out there for me. I think even if I created my own deck, it might be perfect for a while, but my tastes and my outlook have changed so much over the years that eventually even my own deck would probably fall flat for me at times. So I don't know if you guys have felt the same way. please feel free to leave a comment. Let me know what you think about this. If, you know, if we're all just collecting decks for no good reason, or if we really do feel, or if, does it trigger anything in you? Does it kind of wake your brain up and say, here's something you haven't thought about? Which I think is what I really want to get out of the tarot. It's not so much rote learning and book memories, or, you know, memorizing from a book, because frankly, a lot of the books when I was first learning tarot were just terrible. It was just this random collection of words, and I never could memorize any of it. And so I guess my readings have always been leaning more towards the intuitive side without even knowing it, because back in the 70s when I was first learning this, nobody was talking about this stuff. At least not that I knew of. So, but anyway, you know, it kind of validates getting all these fun sort of decks, you know, that just really depart from the old tried and true standards. Like, I love my new Palladini. You know, I've got somewhere north of 250 decks now, which is kind of ridiculous, I admit. But I like them, and every once in a while I just feel like looking at one particular deck. So anyway, I was absolutely thrilled to discover I had not accidentally thrown away my Hues deck, because out of print and hard to replace. I kind of wish US Games would reprint that one, because it's going for some ridiculous prices on the secondary market. So anyway, thanks for watching, and if you like this, please give it the thumbs up and subscribe, and I will talk to you soon. Blessed be.